In this video I want to talk to you all about ethers and how to name them. Now it turns out ethers are one of the easier functional groups to name. There really isn't that much to them. So let me just run through a couple of examples. Alright, let's do an example of this guy, for example. If you remember, an ether is an oxygen with carbons either side of it. And really all you need to know is what the name of each carbon group is. So these names are exactly the same ones as what we did before. So one carbon group is methyl, two carbon group is ethyl, three carbon group is propyl, benzene ring is phenyl, and so on. It's really pretty simple, and then just stick the word ether on the end. So if we were to start with this guy, we have two groups coming off the oxygen, and both of them have two carbons in them, so therefore they're ethyl. Now because there's two of them, we use the prefix di. Two carbon group is ethyl, and we just put the word ether after it. Diethyl ether. Alright? So when we have this, we got methyl and ethyl. We arranged substituents alphabetically before, and we do exactly the same here, so therefore this simply becomes ethyl, methyl, ether. There is no issue with ones or twos or anything about location, because these groups are always coming off the oxygen in an ether. Now for this guy, what we need to know is this is propyl and this is phenyl. Phenyl comes before propyl because H comes before R, so phenyl, propyl, ether. As I said, H comes before R, so that's why they are that way. So let's take a look at these. Now, there is another way to name ethers that is a little bit different, and we need to know that when we have something like this guy. This is a benzene ring, of course, and it has an NH2 on it. And I'm sure if you remember, when you have an NH2 on a benzene ring, that becomes aniline. So that's all this, but we've got to figure out a way to name this. This is our ether group, and before the ether was the functional group that was at the end of the name, and we can't use that here. Aniline tells us what our dominant functional group is, so we have to know how to name this as a substituent. Alright? Now, CH3 and CH2CH3 are ones we've seen before, so that's methyl and ethyl. Now when we make a small change to those and add an oxygen in there, so the oxygen is connected to the carbon, the name of the substituent changes here really just to reflect the fact there's an oxygen in there. So this becomes methoxy, oxy meaning oxygen, and this becomes ethoxy. So you can get the name of a substituent with an oxygen in it by using the stem of what you had before and just sticking OXY on the end. So therefore, if this name is aniline, this is a one carbon group off with an oxygen, that's methoxy, and that is in the meta position, or in the third carbon. So therefore either meta or 3, methoxy, aniline. And if we just had the OCH3 on benzene itself, methoxy is not one of those groups that changes the name of the benzene ring, so that would simply be methoxy benzene. Alright, so let's do this one. This is a slightly more involved version. Whenever we have two functional groups, this guy and this guy, we know how to name the molecule as an alcohol, so we're going to still name it as an alcohol, and we know how to name this guy as a substituent, so we will do it that way. So what's the longest carbon chain containing our carbon with the OH? Well, it's 2, 4, 6 carbons, so therefore the parent name is hexane. It's an alcohol, so it's hexanol. The alcohol's on carbon 2, so it's 2-hexanol. This is a methoxy group, it's on carbon 3, so therefore 3-methoxy 2-hexanol. Alright. for this last one, this one we can name just like these guys, because the only functional group here is the ether. So our last part of the name is going to be ether. So whenever the only functional group in the molecule is the ether, that's how you name it. And we just got to know how to name these two. You can see they're both the same, whatever they may be. They're 3 carbon groups that would suggest propyl, but because they're connected in the middle, they're not propyl, they're isopropyl. So it's isopropyl ether, but when there are 2 of them, so it's actually di-isopropyl ether. And that is how you name ethers. Simple as that.